Unreliables podcast!
Oh my god.
Today we're going to be talking about hobbies and which hobbies we enjoy.
Am I supposed to be talking at the same volume that you were talking?
No, I was going above and beyond the Call of Duty.
Oh, okay.
Call of Duty, hey. Gamer talk.
Check your corners. Stay frosty.
I'm reloading!
Cover me, I'm reloading! Okay, today we're talking about hobbies. Episode 2, Unreliables podcast. Hobbies episode.
Joined today by your hosts, Andrew.
Amara.
And Ian.
Wow, we're so good. We should have practiced that, and I just threw them under the bus right there.
We did it though.
Before we go into the topic of hobbies, how are you guys doing? How's your week been since last time we were together?
I signed up for unemployment.
Wow. Aspirations.
Wait, what's involved in signing up for
It
unemployment?
was
Tell me
really
about
easy,
that.
actually. I went online. It's 20 minutes. Okay, it's 20 minutes. You put in your information, but then you gotta prove every week that you're applying for 3 jobs a week to them, and they'll give you money to the government. Apparently,
How do you prove that you've applied for a job? Like, do you know what that entails?
I have not done that process yet, but I've heard of letters of unemployment or something that you can get from like job people. But we'll see how it goes. I'll let you guys know next week if I have any updates on unemployment collections.
Yeah, keep us going on the unemployment saga.
Oh, I'll keep it going.
I hope it's not a saga. I hope it's more like unemployment week.
I hope it's
like
unemployment
Shark Week.
year. I want all the government money. I don't need to work. I just need to say that I'm applying for jobs. Apparently.
That's so weird.
How have your guys' weeks been?
Trying very hard not to comment.
Why? Go ahead.
This is a safe space, Amara. Comments away.
Am against people abusing the system.
Yeah, that's fair. I was merely joking. I will try and find a real job.
I know. I trust you to do that.
Thank you. But fuck the government! I want all their money!
Oh my god.
Well, our week has been good, I suppose. Well, we have this tradition where when the red tide comes, as they say, we eat out.
Oh, Lord.
So, we did a lot of that. Not every day, but more than we should.
Moses part the red tide.
We are shopping for a home, in that we're probably, as our realtor would put it, a good 6 months ahead of ourselves. But, we want it, and we want it now. I want my money. It's my money, and I want it now.
Yeah.
We may be a bit impatient.
Yeah, I agree. We have been impatient. We have been doing a lot of house hunting. We went and toured model homes, which was really exciting, but then it just made us even more impatient because it made us unsatisfied with the house that we live in now. So that's a problem. But yeah, I don't know. House hunting has been fun, but like she said, we're too early, so then we get excited for no reason, and then the excitement just goes nowhere, and then we get frustrated. I don't know what that's about.
We're good at life. 10 out of 10.
Buying houses sounds very exciting. And looking at houses to buy sounds even more exciting than that. Especially if you can't afford them. I mean, if they're really nice. I can't afford any house. I could buy a kid's playhouse.
There you go.
Yeah, get one of those like minivans that people have been buying and drive around the country.
Yeah.
You're one of those tiny homes.
If there's anything I learned from Tiny House Nation or whatever it's called on Netflix, tiny homes are expensive too.
Yeah, they're like
They're not cheap.
$35,000 or like $55,000 or something. They're like pretty pricey.
Well, thanks for asking how my week was, guys.
Well, what have you been up to, coffee man?
Coffee, ew.
Coffee guy?
Same thing. I'm distancing myself from that. If for people who don't know, I called myself Coffee Guy on my YouTube channel, and I have not done that in like months because it just felt weird. I've been trying to get into reading lately, as our therapist suggested that we try to cut ourselves away from technology and something. He never told us why we should do it, and we're kind of wondering why he asked us to do that, but my effort to get away from technology is I've picked up the hobby of reading, which I will talk more about later, but yeah, I've read like 3 books this week. since we last met. So that's been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. These are like big boy books, like 300, 400 pagers.
That's no like Magic Treehouse book, you know.
The ones that you
like 25 pages.
Yeah.
School kid level.
Are you talking about like those like mystery novels?
That
or,
was
like,
the last
Goosebumps?
book I read.
No way.
No, not really.
No. When was the last time you read a book?
High
The way
school,
through.
High school.
You've never read a book since high school, like for fun.
Not all the way through.
Have you started a book?
Maybe in college, my first year of college.
Oh, like on an airplane.
No.
Yeah, like on a vacation. Like you've never just like started reading a book for fun.
No, well, not really. Maybe like once or twice. Maybe Aragon, the Aragon series, but that was back in high school. I haven't been reading a lot lately.
How about you, Amara? When's the last time you read?
Like yesterday?
Why?
I don't-
Do you feel reading makes you guys smarter?
No, not for me, because I read the same 2 books over and over and over again.
Is it better than TV, do you think? You use your brain more,
Yes.
probably?
Yeah, I would say that.
It's not a zone out like a TV. I mean, I love TV. I definitely love TV.
TV's great.
Wish you'd talk about me like that.
If TV could be a hobby, then God,
Yeah.
it is mine.
Yeah, I think movies are one of mine. I have to put them on
Does
the list.
YouTube count?
I would count YouTube, which, yeah, that was something I was going to bring up, actually. I would say YouTube is one of my hobbies, just making YouTube, watching YouTube, but I think going back a little bit, like, I think since I've gotten into books lately, it's just, there's something about, like, completing a book that no other, like, thing I've done gives that same sensation, especially if it's a long one. For example, we went to Barnes & Nobles, and we were like, let's try to read more.
Wow.
How dare you interrupt me while I'm speaking?
We can't even cut that out.
I can't even cut that. I was mid-sentence. You couldn't have been like, Andrew, wait, I'm going to sneeze. You might want to edit this out. Where was I? Oh, so we went to Barnes & Noble to buy some books. I ended up not buying a book. Amara bought 2 books. So then we had the idea of like, oh, I'll read one of the books, you read the other book, and then we'll trade, and then we can talk about it, and that'll be fun. So I just started reading one of the books, and I got hooked into the book, and I read it in 3 days. Like, I didn't even like the book. It was so weird. As I was reading it, I would comment to Amara, I'm like, you're such a better writer than this writer is, but I have to keep reading because it's a freaking mystery novel, and you have to find out what's going to happen. So even though I was unhappy with how the quality of the writing was, I was still reading because it was interesting. It's just so weird. I don't know.
That just goes to show that you don't have to be the most talented writer in the world to write a book.
I mean, yeah, if you heard some of the dumb, cliche rom-coms that I listen to occasionally at work that require 0 brain effort and always follow the exact same story arc, I mean, it's proof of that. They probably sell thousands of copies.
Can you, for those of us that haven't read or listened to some of those cheesy rom-coms, can you give us a rundown? What is that like? If one of their 2 listeners wanted to write a rom-com tomorrow, what would be the recipe to success?
First, typically, I mean, it's usually girl meets boy. You can do your own deviation on that. Okay, so typically, the cheesy rom-com starts out with, some cliche, I guess one movie called it a meet cute. They meet at a party, they bump into each other, they, either they hate each other, they love each other, whatever. Usually they dislike each other up front, let's be honest. And then there's a series of, depending on the style, if you're going Victorian, it's usually a lot of, she's a virgin and he's experienced, and at some point they have to have sex in vivid detail.
Spicy.
Usually it has something to do with, like, girl gets kidnapped, or, something has to happen where they have to, like, race to solve the problem, whatever it is, and then, either along the way or near the end, they have sex. A lot of times, the girl has problems with sex, or the guy has problems with sex, and they, like, get over it, and then they live happily ever after, and that's basically it.
Okay. In this, you tend to mention the word sex quite a bit in these books. How much percentage-wise of the book would you say is raunchy page-turners that leave you steamy wherever you're listening or reading?
Fully pornographic sexual
Yeah,
scenes
fully pornographic.
in a book.
Like where at what point of the book do you have to turn on incognito mode?
I'd say it's depending on the book. And I have tried to find non-smutty books because, at work you don't really feel comfortable getting hot and bothered, but,
Hey, don't kink shame. That's my kink.
Okay, I don't usually feel comfortable getting hot and bothered at work.
But don't you guys work from home?
Well, this is back in the day when we didn't.
Okay.
But usually, I'd say 30 to 40%, depending.
Maybe somewhere around chapter 3.
Yeah.
Turn on incognito mode.
No.
It depends on the book. Depending on the author's choice, it could happen relatively early, and then there's, repeat offenses.
No, it's the cliffhanger at the end of chapter 1. It just mentions side boob and then ends the chapter.
The last word is side boob.
The last word is just wow, she's so fertile looking or something awful.
Or over the clothes groping, but in vivid detail.
Oh, I hate that. I honestly hate that.
You hate what?
I hate books describing over the clothes groping, and I hate people describing sexual scenes in books in just such vivid detail, and they take their utmost time with it, and I'm like, please. He caresses her slowly. He takes his time to unbutton every button on his shirt. It's like, stop!
Not because he's good, or not because he's trying to make it a thing. It's because it's a woman's shirt and he's not used to unbuttoning it, so he's taking his time because he's having trouble unbuttoning it.
I mean,
yeah, he can't undo the back of the bra. He's fiercely trying to undo it.
He should have practiced more in middle school, doing it to himself.
Oh my god.
I mean, proof that you guys aren't women. You like it fast and quick.
Hey.
Shit, that was a good burn.
What did I say the other day? The book that I read in 3 days, the sex scene started, and then it, did an indentation, and it's and then I woke up, and I was like, you freaking kissed him, and then that's when this author was like, oh, I'm not writing smutty, I'm just gonna, start at a kiss, and then maybe write, a sentence after the kiss, and then it's woke up, oh, that was the best sex I've ever had. And it was just okay,
why is there cream in my pants?
You can't just start it and not give me give me a paragraph at least. I don't know. I feel because I got angry because it's I want just a little bit of smutty, just to, I read freaking 200 pages to this point for you just to cut me off like that. Come on.
So here's my goal as a writer is PG-13 and occasional R when it comes to sex. You see them kissing, sometimes they go at it for a while, but you don't dip into R very often. But you get the little oomph, you get the little romance fizzle, I guess. But then you move on.
From what you're saying, it sounds like chapter 1, boy meets girl. Chapter 2, vivid sex. Chapter 3, boy regrets decision or something like that.
Oh.
It's vivid dream sex, and then he has to have real sex at the end of the book or something.
I mean, as Andrew, and this probably is too much information for you, Ian.
Yikes.
On occasion, well, more than often. Often, when I am writing, and I have a couple, which I often do, who at some point will become in a relationship, but not, for a long time in the book, I have to write a sex scene to just get it out. Because I'm oh, I just want them to be together, and then, but they're not. And then I just get it out of the system, and I just file it away.
Do you think that men or women authors are more write about sex scenes more, female or male?
When you say, did you say write more or more bright about sex scenes?
I would say they write more sex scenes in their books or whatever.
I'd say females do. I mean, that's mostly the authors that I read are females. They're from a female perspective. But maybe I just haven't been paying attention. I I probably don't pay attention to authors. Well, I do pay attention to authors. When I like a book, I will look for their other stuff. But I have to say, most of like the cliche sex-filled books are often written by women. And I think women like erotica more than men. I don't.
Including porn?
Well, erotica isn't porn, is it?
Erotica could be anything pornographic, but I don't know. Going off of, like, the book I read, where it's like, oh, I'm gonna kiss someone, and then that's done. It's almost as if like men are afraid to write sex scenes because it's like, oh no, how am I gonna write me putting my penis inside a woman in vivid detail because that's all I understand in real life. So it's like almost like because women, I feel like you could argue feel more during sex, so they have more emotions that they can write about. Or it's like men, it's like, get it inside quick, don't hurt her, or I don't know. It's just like, I know what I'm doing, but I don't know what I'm doing, and it's, I don't know. I feel like women would be better, but it could go either way, because, like, generally, I feel like, I don't know if men are hornier than women or the other way around. I know it's dependent on the person, but on, like, a general basis, I'd say it's pretty even, but I honestly don't know, because I've never done that research.
I mean, on another point, I started reading and writing erotic fiction before I ever even sort of had sex. So, there's that. I don't think it's because women have, like, the experience to be like, oh, I know what this feels like. I mean, you can copy other people if you read it, but I do think that it's different than porn, where, you know, women, I feel like the written word. I mean, this is very general, and men like visuals, just because for women, porn seems very biased towards a certain thing, I guess I should say. Like completion or, you know, appreciation towards the man. Those kinds of things where it can flip-flop in a book and feel natural and just, like, rev up your imagination.
Okay. I don't know about you guys, but we've talked a lot about my hobby of reading. Let's go on to someone else's hobby, because I don't want it only being about books. Ian or Amara, what are your... I mean, we've talked about Amara's, like, hobby of writing, too, but, like, I feel like it's mostly been about reading. So when do you guys take over? What's one of your hobbies?
I spend a lot of my time making jewelry these days. Mostly I just use silver or copper. I don't know what to talk about jewelry making. It's kind of hard to explain. Mostly you would need a visual about it.
For those of us that are visually impaired, such as everybody listening to this podcast,
yes.
And I don't know personally anything about jewelry making besides, like, watching you fidget.
Okay.
How do you start, like,
okay.
when you make jewelry? Do you already have, like, an idea, or do you just, like, look at what materials you have and be like, oh, I guess I could, you know, I could fasten this into, like, a ring. Like, I just don't know. Like, what's your creative process?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. So, I usually start with the rock that I'm going to use, and I'll pick, like, a flat rock, because with what I have to do, it has to be flat on one side. And then just get the shape of a good rock that I like to use, and then I'll get my copper or silver and start cutting out a little bit bigger than the rock shape, and I'll start fastening them all together, make it like so that the rock is in the silver kind of, and it looks like a pendant with the rock in a way, and then you can make that into a ring or a necklace or earrings or whatever you want to do, really. So you just have to get the base with the silver, and then you have something called a bezel. That's what it's called. So you get a bezel which goes around the rock, and then that holds it in place on the base of the jewelry, and then you just solder everything together and just clean it all up, and it's good to go. It looks good. It looks like jewelry.
And what kind of tools do you need to get into jewelry?
For what I have now, you need a torch, like a good torch. I have an acetylene torch.
What is that? I have no idea.
It's a type of gas. A lot of times they'll use acetylene and oxygen together in welding, because if you mix both of them, it's even hotter than just acetylene. But acetylene's plenty hot enough to melt silver and copper and do jewelry making. So I just use that.
And then what other tools?
You just need all the copper and silver and stuff, and you need some copper solder. And then when you do all the soldering, you're gonna need to like, I think it's called de-pickle it or something. You have to have this pickle substance. It's not actually like pickle juice. It's poisonous, but it's called pickle. Don't drink it. It looks like pickle juice though. It's like yellow. And
so is that what that yellow mason jar is? It's not 0-calorie pickle juice.
No,
it's not salt.
Put your cucumbers in that. Delicious.
We gotta get into the pickling scene with pickling for jewelry.
Yeah. I would love to. I'd love to show you all sometime. We could do a little class, but that's as best as I think as I could describe it right now. And then I have all like the cleaning tools, like a buffer thing, and like things to clean and polish the silver and copper once it's all like made up properly, and that's how it looks all good and stuff.
Cool.
Very cool.
And are you gonna try to sell your jewelry, or is it just kind of for fun?
I would like to sell it. I could sell some stuff at this point, but I only have copper right now to make anything. And copper is worth a lot less, so you could sell it for a bit less, but it's still something. Still pretty good, I think. It makes me feel like I'm in Skyrim, leveling up my smithing skill.
I was actually just thinking that, because like Minecraft has copper ore now, but I haven't played the new Minecraft enough yet to know like if it's better than iron or what.
It sucks, let me tell you. The copper ore in Minecraft at this point of recording in this podcast right now, you can only use it to make like one thing, and it's like a fucking lightning rod. So
or you can do an oxidized block. That looks cool.
I guess you're right. They turn green, which is kind of cool, like the Statue of Liberty. So you can make the Statue of Liberty in Minecraft, and it would turn green, which is kind of cool.
That is cool.
But come on, they should make at least one more thing that you could use, like a copper sword or like anything else, please, Minecraft.
Like you can't even make like armor or anything tools out of it.
No, it's worthless. Besides those things, it's more like for decoration, I guess.
I wonder.
I didn't know we're on a pirate ship. Just.
Our matey. Now we can put it in a background with like some seagulls or something.
Right.
Avast ye mateys!
I was like, we can put in the hearing between Johnny Depp and his wife.
Oh God.
No, never mind.
Oh God. Wait. Isn't there drama between Johnny Depp and Elon Musk? I just heard about that.
No, I have not heard about that.
Apparently,
go ahead.
Apparently, Johnny Depp's ex-wife,
Amber Heard.
Yes, Elon Musk was her security officer, and they had some sort of potentially sexual relationship.
Ooh.
So that's what I heard on my phone, where I hear everything.
I hear way too much celebrity gossip. Like Kanye West is changing his name to Ye.
Oh my God. Ye.
And he's selling his new album for $200 and you can sample everything. Like it's like a create your own music thing, but that's how he wants to sell his new album and it's ridiculous, but anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I honestly just don't know anything. All I've seen is like you in the garage fidgeting and then like whenever we go down to your dad's place and Shanna's place in St. George, it's kind of like, oh, I walk into like this zone where like I feel uncomfortable because I have no idea what's going on, and I look around me and I just see chaos. And I'm a very neat person. Like my computer desk where I work at all day long has to be clean. And then if it's not clean, when I sit down, it bugs me and I have to clean it before I can start working. And then I go in the garage and I see your workstation. And I'm just like, I don't want to be in here because it's not organized.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of tools that I have and not a lot of places to put them.
Know what to get you for Christmas.
Ooh. So, I guess another hobby that I think we probably all share is watching YouTube.
Yes.
I've been watching a lot of like cop videos on YouTube lately. Just like cop fails.
You'll have to send me those.
Oh, I have so many. I've literally watched them for like the last week or two, just nonstop all day.
I've been watching a new YouTuber called
I Did a Thing.
I Did a Thing. And he's an Australian or New Zealander. I can't identify accents. Sorry guys. And he does things with tools and is kind of bad at tools, but he makes it really funny.
He's kind of like an engineer, where he has like an idea, like Minecraft, where it's like, I'm going to do this thing, no matter how dangerous it is, I'm going to accomplish it. And then he does janky mechanical welding, and it's like, I'm afraid for this man, because she showed me the video like 2 days ago, or was it, no, 2 days ago, and he's just like, yeah, I'm going to make this thing that jumps rope faster than the rain, so it blocks all the raindrops, and then he was going to jump in it, and then by the time he's done janking this thing together, he's like, yeah, I'm not getting in that thing, it's way too dangerous. But
I mean, it gives me the vibe that, like, he knows what he's talking about enough. You know, like, you have to know the rules to break the rules kind of thing. Like, he probably is smarter than or maybe he's just fooling us all, I don't know. I mean, he knows things, I can tell that much. He has a lot of tools to know nothing.
Or maybe he's just a fidgeter, and he just buys all the things he can fidget with. Kind of reminds me of your dad.
Expensive things.
Well, hobbies. Hobbies are expensive. Like, I mean, that's kind of what makes a hobby. Not that you have to put money into it, but like people spend absurd amount of money on hobbies, like collecting cars, for example. There's no reason to have more than one car unless, like, oh, I need a van for my kids. And then a normal car. Like, why does anybody own a sports car? Like, hobbies are just things that people enjoy and dump money into. So I could see him just like, I love fidgeting. I love doing things with my hands. I'm going to, I feel like soldering today. I'm going to buy a solder gun. I feel like I can get that vibe from him. Or you could be right of like, oh, maybe he's just really smart, but then he's just comedic and just like plays dumb. I don't know.
I feel like he always buys the thing that he needs for one specific task, and then he just has it. And he has he tries to do he just to do everything by himself. So he just has to have every tool for every task you could possibly think of. That's my theory.
That's not just a theory. It's a game theory. No, screw that. YouTube, it's something that all three of us enjoy. I mean, Amara and I, every night before we go to sleep, we watch YouTube. Like, that's what we fall asleep to. Not this past week, because we've been trying to turn off technology at 10, but literally, for the first 3 years of our marriage, we watch YouTube together. That's our tradition. Like, even if I go play video games and she does like writing or like plays her own video games or whatever, like we always come back together every night to watch YouTube together. We don't do that right now because we're trying not to have technology, but yeah, just YouTube's been great. I even found this like super weird. I stumbled across this weird channel called Danny Dorito. He's only got like 2,000 subs, but what he does is he makes hour-long videos, but then he intermittently, throughout the video at random times, puts weird sound effects. For example, the one that I got into was 1 hour of dead silence interrupted by sitcom laugh tracks. So what I do now, because I find this very interesting, is I just have it playing in the background as I'm working. So I'll be working and listening to music, and then in the middle of the song, you'll just hear like Seinfeld laughter of just like, ah, ha, ha. It's just so, like, at first, like, it was so funny, and then as I kept listening to it, because it's an hour long, I kept listening to it, it's all the way to the end, it felt like I was in a simulation, because I'm in the mortgage industry, and I'm helping this guy with a loan, and I got this email from somebody who's called an underwriter. They're the main decision makers on the loan. And they said, oh, sorry, this guy doesn't qualify for the loan. I get that email. Then I hear Seinfeld laughter in the background. And I'm just sitting there like chuckling. I'm just like, this guy can't buy a house. Like, this is awful. Like, it's the weirdest feeling. And then by the end of the video, the laughter they revert the laughter backwards. So it sounds demonic.
That's awful.
So like at first I was enjoying it. And then the second half of the video, I'm just like, oh, I feel very uncomfortable. It's the weirdest thing. I love it though. Like, it's just try like listening to music and then listening to like sitcom laughter that randomly plays for an hour. And it's like, it'll go for like 10 minutes without laughter and you forget it's turned on. And then out of nowhere, you just hear laughter. And like, this is just the weirdest thing. I'll have to show it to you or link it to this podcast because it's so weird, but I love it.
Huh. Well, I'm sure someone feels very passionate about making that.
I wonder if he has a specific way where he decides to put the laugh tracks in, or like he has.
No, there's
he just
no
throws
way.
them in.
No,
What is the video of? Is it of anything?
No, it's just a picture of a creepy face.
Okay.
And it's just laughter. And I might have to edit it in so you can like hear what it sounds like. But like all of his videos are like 1 hour of Vine sound effects where it's like boom, boom. And then you just like, think about it. You just take an hour, you just slap it in randomly, and then you upload it and you get millions of views.
That's
and then think about the watch time of that video. Like, you need a certain amount of watch time to get partnered on YouTube. And if someone listens to an hour-long video for whatever reason, you get that watch time. Like, it's just, I don't know. They're so easy to make.
Genius.
Or like those
Never
rain
thought of
relaxation videos. Like, it's just, I don't know, YouTube is fascinating. There's so much crap on it.
For real.
The same goes for like Netflix. That's a whole different.
Oh,
It's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, don't even get me started on all the different streaming platforms nowadays.
maybe we should save streaming platforms or something for another one, but I don't know. We could get into it.
We should make a song about all the streaming platforms.
That's a good idea.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah.
Have you heard my singing voice?
It's okay. That's what autotune's for.
It's the end of the world as we know it. Netflix. I can't come up with lyrics on the spot.
HBO Max, Hulu Plus, fuck me, all the rest.
Netflix and chill, Hulu Plus, ESPN2.
Vimeo Daily Motion.
Peacock!
What's the new one? Peacock? That's where
Peacock, yeah. Peacock's actually pretty good.
Peacock.
they moved to Office.
Not a sponsor.
Not a
a
sponsor.
sponsor.
But you can be.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yes, come sponsor us and our -2 listeners.
You will get 2+ subscribers for sponsoring us. You'll pay thousands of dollars to get 2 $10 a month subscriptions, but they might be members for life, and then their children will have Peacock and Hulu, and anyway, you get the
It's
point.
an investment.
Yeah, it's an investment. Don't be dumb, Hulu and Peacock, and sponsor us.
Why's up?
It's the end of the podcast as you know it.
Just kidding. Bloopers coming up next half hour.
Florp Glarp! Oops.
Words, woman, words!
Explanionimus!
Avada Kedavra.
Should we talk about sex some more?
Yeah, let's bring it back home. Talk about sex again.
Yeah, we're recording in a home. Sex happens in a home. Though we can only talk about sex for how long we each last. So
Oh God,
I'll get my 2 cents in. No.
Yeah, and I feel like I debatably could just keep going. Like, never. The female orgasm doesn't exist. Prove me wrong.
Is that a
Wow,
challenge?
that's a challenge.
That's a challenge.
That's a challenge.
Better stop.
Take that, internet. Internet.
And we gotta do that slow sex. Not
Ew.
a sponsor.
For those of you who don't know what she's referencing, there's a book called Slow Sex that a certain individual in her life recommended to her, but then she didn't want to read it, so then I ended up reading half of it, and I've yet to use anything I've learned in that book, but it's about, oh yeah, sex is exciting, but you're doing it wrong. You should slow down and not actually have sex, but like touch somebody for like 30 minutes and not, yeah, it's the weird, if you're curious, Google slow sex and you'll see what I'm talking about, but it's super weird.
She says it's amazing.
Ooh.
I'm not sure that was like a who that you really want to know.
But you know who you are.
I bet you could guess.
I don't want to guess.
Okay.
I'll tell you after we're done recording.
Slow sex and fast money. Am I right?
This is Unreliable Information brought to you by Andrew.
Amara!
And in.
We'll see you guys next week. I mean, you'll hear us next week. It's awkward. Stop recording. No.
Get it down. Get it off. It's not over. It's not over yet.
That was a
Somebody
rough
push the
one.
stop.
Better luck next time.